Transport in plants. Okay, first let us see the means of transport. Means of transport. What are the things that are to be transported in plants? First, one is food material. Second is water and minerals. Water and minerals are present in ground and they should enter the roots. Okay. For that purpose, roots have very thin structures called root hair. Root hair arises from single cell. If you see the epidermis of any plant, epidermis of any plant, this is outermost layer of root. The cells of the root have root hair. This is root hair. So root hair arises from each and every cell that is present inside the epidermis. So here soil particles are present. In between water molecules will be present. Through this water enters inside and different substances enter inside. These different substances that enter inside are minerals. They can be in the form of neutral ions, neutral molecules, various ways. How these substances enter into this plant cell. What is the means of the transport? Some substances enter into the cell by simple diffusion. Certain substances enter into cell by simple diffusion. Okay. Mostly gaseous movement inside. So roots are also involved in respiration, leaves are also involved in respiration. I said you when I said about plant respiration in plants, I said you that each and every part of plant has its own respiration. Whether it is through roots, whether it is through leaves, gases exchange, that is oxygen and carbon dioxide, always occurs by simple diffusion. That is why from high concentration region, by simple, without using energy, molecules move to low concentration region to maintain equilibrium. Second method is facilitated diffusion. Facilitated diffusion. You take, for example, water molecules should pass through lipid bimembrane, phospholipid bilayer. This is all lipid bilayer, how water molecules will pass. For this purpose, there are certain protein molecules called as aquaporins. Aquaporins are those protein molecules which act as channels for water. Channels for water molecule, water movements. Okay. So here this aquaporine is a protein which is acting as a means of transport. It is facilitating the movement. That's why this type of diffusion. Here also no energy is used. Only protein molecule will carry that water molecule. It will move. Not only protein molecules, certain other ions and also will move through this facilitated diffusion. Like for example, certain proteins, small sized proteins also move through these protein channels. Okay, water molecules also move through these protein channels. Third type of movement is osmosis. We'll discuss about osmosis later. Active transport. Active transport. Fourth one, sorry. Fourth one is active transport. Active transport. Okay, this I'll explain you after discussing about this transport. Here water molecules move against concentration gradient. Against concentration gradient. What is concentration gradient? From high concentration region to low concentration region, usually molecules will move. When water molecules move from low concentration region to high concentration region, it is called osmosis. What is the reason why it is happening? We'll discuss. Okay. Now let us go to active transport. Certain molecules like sodium ions, potassium ions, chlorine will move with the use of ATP molecules. Okay. This movement by using ATP molecules is called as active transport. Here it is called active because energy is used. Okay, these two means of transport are passive. Why they are called passive? No energy is used, no ATP molecule is used. Here this is active transport because ATP molecule is used. Okay, right. So what is the difference between active transport and passive transport? In case of passive transport, like simple diffusion, okay, I'll write simple diffusion here. Diffusion or facilitated transport, active transport. In case of these three things, let us identify the differences. Here, high concentration region to low concentration region, high concentration region to low concentration region. Here, movement is from low concentration region to high concentration region. Already sodium molecules are present in the plant cell, but still sodium molecules should enter into plant cell only. So at that time it is called as active transport from low concentration region to high concentration region. Movement is taking place. And here proteins are used in diffusion, no proteins are used. In facilitated transport, proteins are used. In active transport, no proteins are used. Okay. Here ATP molecule is not used. Facilitated ATP molecule is not used. Active transport ATP molecule is used. So that is the difference between these three types of transport. And among facilitated transport, we can see that there is uniport, synport, antiport. Suppose this is the plasma membrane, this is a protein molecule. If one molecule is moving without the help of any second molecule, only one, so uniport. Suppose for movement of this molecule, second molecule is required. Suppose, usually you do with your friends. If I ask you to go to principal or you have to take any permission, please send my friend madam. Same like that here also. This molecule is not going alone. She wants someone else to go along with this. This is called as symport. And if any molecule is going from this side to this side and molecule should go from this side to this side, this is called as antiport. Antiport. Okay. If one molecule is going from this side to this side, it is possible only when a molecule from this side go to this side. Okay. So this type of movement is antiport, and these three are example types of facilitated transport only. Facilitated transport only. Okay, right. So this is the means of transport. Now we'll study plant water relations and how osmosis occurs. Plant water relations. For this to understand, this helps you to understand osmosis. First, let us understand what is water potential. You all are very good at chemistry. You know that inside any liquid medium, water molecules always move. There is movement in water molecule. Because of the movement in water molecules, each water molecule has some amount of kinetic energy. This kinetic energy that is present in the water, total water, each molecule has some kinetic energy. Total water has that kinetic energy. That is called as water potential. Water potential is the sum of kinetic energy of water molecules. So if you add more water in a system, more amount of water potential. If you add less water, less amount of water potential. So this is kinetic energy of water molecules. Water molecules. Now suppose if you add any solute to this, I don't have a second color. Okay. So this is solute molecules. When you add solute molecules, what happens to the kinetic energy of water molecules? It decreases. Okay. Suppose it decreased by 1 Pascal. So water potential is always measured in pascals and the symbol is, you know this, psi. Okay. These are all chemistry topics. You know it very well. So water potential is measured in pascals, the symbol is psi. What happens? Let us assume 1 Pascal of water potential has decreased. This 1 is called as, -1 is called as solute potential. Solute potential. Okay. Amount of decrease in water potential because of adding solute is called as solute potential. Okay, now I'll write this definition. Solute potential is decrease in, only the decrease we are speaking about. How much decrease? You are having 10 chocolates. I have taken 1 chocolate from you. We are talking only about that 1 chocolate which I have taken back. Here also, how much decrease is there? That much, that only we are talking about. Decrease in water potential. Decrease in water potential due to addition of solute. Addition of solute is called as solute potential, and this is denoted as solute psi s. Water potential is psi w. Okay. And pressure potential, why I am saying about pressure potential, we'll discuss after osmosis. But here you understand why is pressure so important. We'll understand once we discuss about osmosis. Pressure potential, when pressure increases, when pressure increases, what happens to kinetic energy of water molecules? Atmospheric pressure is there, normal atmospheric pressure is there. The kinetic energy will be normal. You are applying some extra pressure on that water molecules. At that time, what will happen? Water potential increases. Water potential increases. Okay. This increase is called as pressure potential. Okay. So water potential is always 0. Solute potential, because it is decreased, it is always a negative one, and pressure potential is always a positive one. Okay. So if you want to know what is the water potential, you should know, if you want to know what is water potential of any solution, you should know how much solute is there in that. You should know how much pressure is applied on that. Is it clear? So water potential is equal to solute potential plus pressure potential. Okay. If there is more amount of solute, because this is negative value, its value will decrease. If there is more pressure applied, because this is a positive value, its value will increase. So it depends on these two things only. Water's potential will depend on these two things only. Now, we take a solution which is having some amount of solute in it. Okay, you know, solution means some amount of solute is there. This is the water molecules. This is the solute molecules. And there is a pure water. Only water molecules are present in this. Which is having more water potential according to you? Always pure water has more water potential compared to any solution. Okay. Now, second question I'll ask you. This solution is having higher concentration of solutes. This solution is having lower concentration of solutes. Which is having more water potential? Again, which one will you guess will have more water potential? This one, which is having low concentration, has more water potential. Now we'll discuss. With this idea in this mind, we'll discuss about the osmosis. Usually, all our body cells have a plasma membrane, and one of the cell may have less concentration of solutes. Another cell that is adjacent to it, which is separated by plasma membrane, will have more concentration of solute in it. Now, according to normal diffusion, molecules should move from high concentration region to low concentration region. But here what is happening? This is having more water potential. Water potential, here it is more. Here water potential, I'll simply write the symbol. Here water potential, more. Here water potential, less. Again to maintain equilibrium. Since this is plasma membrane, aquaporins are present here. Water molecules move from here to here. Sorry, I wrote solute molecules here. Water molecules move from here to here. Why? To increase this water potential. Always trying to maintain a equilibrium. Everything in universe tries to maintain equilibrium. That is why all the movement is happening. Okay? Because of trying to maintain equilibrium only, these all changes are happening. So here also osmosis also happens for the same reason. Okay, let us once define what is osmosis. Osmosis is movement of water molecules. Water molecules. From which concentration to which concentration? Low concentration to high concentration. This is low concentration water. This is high concentration water. In simple words, this is hypotonic. This is hypertonic. You know about solutions very well. Okay. Hypotonic, less concentration. Hypertonic, more concentration. So from hypotonic to hypertonic solution. But one thing you should understand here is compared to number of water molecules per each solute. Here the water molecules concentration is more. Here the water molecules concentration is less. If you take the ratio of solute is to solvent, here solvent is more. Here that ratio is of water molecules is less. So you can say that this is more water concentration, this is less water concentration. Okay. Okay, if you don't understand this last point, you forget it. But this is very important. Movement of water molecules from hypertonic region to hypertonic region is called as osmosis. Okay, that is because in hypotonic solution, water potential is more. In hypertonic solution, water potential is less. Okay, because of this reason, what happens is, we'll move to the previous diagram. I already said you that root molecules, root cells, epidermis have root hair. Okay. When water moves from here to here, why? Because here the water concentration is very less. Here solution inside this cytoplasm is nothing but it has so many solute molecules in that. Hypertonic compared to a water that we are pouring. We pour normal tap water. Compared to this tap water, rainwater, whatever it may be, compared to this water, this concentration is more. As a result of osmosis, the molecules move from hypotonic to hypertonic solution. Now what happens to this cell? when water molecules are more inside the cell, okay, what happens to the cell? All the water is taken inside the vacuole and that cell will become very tight, fully blown. At that time, it has turgor pressure. What is this turgor pressure? Pressure exerted by water molecules. Pressure exerted by water molecules on cell wall. Pressure exerted by water molecules on cell wall is called as turgor pressure. What happens if there is more water, more pressure is exerted on the walls? If there is less water, less pressure is exerted. So what happens here? Water concentration is decreasing, turgor pressure is increasing. So what happens? Inside epidermis, one more layer will be there. Inside that, one more layer will be there. After that, xylem and phloem is there. What happens? Expect what will happen? Because of this increase in turgor pressure, and here again this concentration, when water is taking inside, this is getting water, this did not get water, which will have more concentration. This is hypertonic. This will turn into hypotonic. From hypertonic it will turn into hypotonic because of addition of this water. Okay, when water is entering inside, the cell's concentration decreases, it becomes hypotonic. This is hypertonic. Okay, one reason why water is moving this side is hypotonic to hypertonic. Second reason is here more pressure, here less pressure. That is why water is moving. Okay, I said you, pressure also has impact, solute also has impact. As a result, water is slowly pushed. Now this will have hypotonic and this will have hypertonic. This is having more turgor pressure, this is having less turgor pressure. So as a result, water moves inside. Okay, but if you are adding normal tap water, this will happen. If you add salt water, what will happen? Salt water is higher concentrated than the water that is present inside the cells. Okay, I'll rub all this. If you add salt water, what will happen? Outside concentration is more, inside concentration is less. As a result, water moves out of the cell. And what happens to this cell when water moves outside? Plasmolysis occur. Normally, this is the cell wall. Below the cell wall only cell membrane is present attached. We cannot understand the difference also. That much close it is. If water is less, what will happen? Immediately, the cell cytoplasm starts shrinking like this. First, the corners will move like this inside, and after that total cytoplasm will shrink and it will look like this. When you see finally, it will look like this. The cell will be like this. Okay, this is nucleus. This is because of water is coming out, that cytoplasm will come close like this. All water is going out. This type of cell is called as plasmolyzed cell. Plasmolyzed cell. So we are advised not to pour salt water to the plant. Salt water should not be given to plants, right? So, this is about osmosis and how pressure and concentration play an important role in osmosis. Next, we have other transports also to discuss here. When we discuss about plant water relations, first thing is why roots are taking water. Second thing I am saying here is there is another transport called imbibition. When you put a seed in water, it swells. This is not osmosis. Okay? When you keep a raisin in water, it swells. That is osmosis. But when you keep seeds in water, they swell. That is not osmosis. Why? Because here seeds have a hole and water is entering into the seeds because of that hole. Water is taken inside. It is not passing through any plasma membrane or nothing like that. There is no plasma membrane there. You keep any wood in water, which is dead wood. After some time, you can see that that wood becomes bark or something. It will be somewhat puffed up because water is taken inside not by osmosis. through cell wall water is going inside. At that time, bark or wood is not a living thing anymore. Okay, at that time water is going inside. This movement of water is called as imbibition. Okay, when cells take the water through imbibition, after that only the seedlings will get small amount of water, and then seedlings will start growing from this. That's why when you are making sprouts, your mother soaks the seeds for at least 4 to 5 hours. Then those they are putting some air a free container where air movement is free, or in a cloth which is having free air movement. That helps. Imbibition is the process by which water enters into roots or water enters into dry stem, etc. It is a type of simple diffusion. It is a type of simple diffusion from low concentration, from high concentration region to low concentration region. Here no solute potential acts, no pressure potential acts, no water potential will act. Transport across larger distances. So when sugar molecules, leaf has made the food material. Which direction should it transport? The plant is there. Leaf has made food material. Leaf has made food material, and which direction it should transport? It should go into stem also. It should go to any fruit also. It should go to any flower also. So in all direction it should transport. Direction in all directions it should transport. For that, a lot of food should move. So movement of food through phylum occurs in mass or bulk. This movement is called as translocation. Okay, movement of food through phloem occurs in bulk or mass. That is why it is called as translocation. And one thing here I would like to say. Sometimes here the water is food materials are getting transported, and this leaf became old and it shed off. What should happen? From here it should move to another source. So not only transport occurs from leaf to different areas, but also from dead parts, mean which are about to die. From that parts to useful parts also. A new bud is growing. So when a leaf is ready to fall, all the food that will be present in that leaf will be withdrawn and sent to the part where new leaf is forming, new bud is forming, new flowers is forming. Okay, this transport is also present inside the plant. Okay, food material transports not only from the leaf to different parts of the body, but from old and dying tissues to useful parts of the plant body also. It takes place, right?